Here is Adam Schiff. Of course, he's a lowlife. He's lower than bubblegum on the bottom of your shoe, but nonetheless, Democrats thought he deserved a promotion. This is what I mean by tyranny. People elect tyranny. This guy's a tyrant. And so they bring him on Meet the Depressed. They promote Schiff. Even though he lied to the media, lied to us about Russia collusion, it doesn't matter. They push him out there. The FBI is a disaster. Chris Wray is a disaster. They're going after, quote-unquote, white supremacists when the Islamo-Nazis are all around us, the jihadis are all around us. Homegrown, they say, yeah, maybe they were born here, but they're being influenced by foreign powers, terrorist states, terrorist organizations, money flowing into this country, dark money from Democrats flowing into this country. Meantime, he gives a Medal of Freedom award to Soros, who's funding all these anti-American, anti-Israel, anti-Semitic organizations. And not only that, one of the guys who put his arm around one of the would-be assassins of Donald Trump, he got a Medal of Freedom. So they're even destroying the whole notion of a Medal of Freedom. When Donald Trump won in 2016, they immediately moved to impeach him. They impeached him twice over absolutely nothing. They unleashed criminal investigations against him, the Mueller investigation, about absolutely nothing, a concocted Russia collusion dossier, which was nothing. They were harassing him, harassing his family. They were attacking his character. They were attacking his mental acuity. The media were in on it, of course. They're part of the Democrat Party and vice versa. And right now, they're going to pull the same thing. They're going to try the same thing. They're going to try a different tactic. You'll notice not a single Democrat on the floor of the House on January 6th stood up and challenged any electors. No, because they don't have the votes. They want to pretend that this past January 6th was the worst of all things. One person said, worse than the Holocaust. Worse than the Holocaust? Mm-hmm. And so they wanted to create the impression that, you know, we believe in a peaceful transition while they are plotting to try and destroy him and destroy his administration. They're going to go after Hegseth in a week. They're going to go after Kash Patel in a week. They've already told us so. I'll give you an example. Here is Adam Schiff. Of course, he's a lowlife. He's lower than bubblegum on the bottom of your shoe, but nonetheless, the people in California, the Democrats thought he deserved a promotion. This is what I mean by tyranny. People elect tyranny. This guy's a tyrant. And so they bring him on Meet the Depressed. They promote Schiff. Even though he lied to the media, lied to us about Russia collusion, it doesn't matter. They push him out there. The FBI is a disaster. Chris Wray is a disaster. They're going after, quote-unquote, white supremacists when the Islamo-Nazis are all around us, the jihadis are all around us. Homegrown, they say, yeah, maybe they were born here, but they're being influenced by foreign powers, terrorist states, terrorist organizations, money flowing into this country, dark money from Democrats flowing into this country. Meantime, he gives a Medal of Freedom award to Soros, who's funding all these anti-American, anti-Israel, anti-Semitic organizations. He gives him a... And not only that, one of the guys who put his arm around one of the would-be assassins of Donald Trump, he got a Medal of Freedom. So they're even destroying the whole notion of a Medal of Freedom. He's a fascist. So here's Adam Schiff, FBI director. We can't have Kash Patel. Why? He's certainly qualified for the position, highly qualified for the position. That's why. Because Kash Patel might actually fix the FBI, just like Pete Hegseth might actually fix the Department of Defense. The Democrats like the FBI the way it is. The Democrats like the Pentagon the way it is. The Democrats like the way DHS is. They don't want any changes. They don't care about the election. They're going to rely on their tactics in the Senate to do everything they can to kneecap Trump. They're going to rely on this massive bureaucracy that they created with the rhinos in Washington, quite frankly, but they've created, belongs to them, they own it. They're going to rely on these radical left-wing judges that they've pushed through Biden and Obama. They're going to rely on them, the unelected government. They call it the swamp. It's the unelected administrative state, the unelected federal judiciary. They're all going to work together to try and stop the Trump agenda, just like they all work together to try and put Trump in jail during the course of the election. So here's Adam Schiff on Meet the Depressed. What does he do? Kash Patel is a problem, you see. Go.
Let's talk quickly about the president-elect's cabinet picks. Kash Patel for FBI director. That comes against the backdrop of this latest terror attack in New Orleans. You, of course, serve on the judiciary.
What kind of question is this? Rambling, buffoonish question. Kash Patel, she throws that name out there knowing that he's going to attack Kash Patel. That's not the way you frame a question. She should say, you're going to bring up Kash Patel. Here's his background. Here's what he's done in his life. Isn't he qualified to be an FBI director? Go ahead.
Committee, if Kash Patel is confirmed, will you be able to work with him? You've been quite critical of him.
See what I mean? If Kash Patel's confirmed, will you be able to work with him? Does anybody give a damn if Adam Schiff can work with Kash Patel? But that's the core of the question. That's why she asks it. And she knows he's going to attack. Go.
Well, first of all, Kash Patel should not be confirmed. And I think the terrorist attack in New Orleans and my heart goes out to those who have lost loved ones in that attack, just underscores again the importance of having someone directing the FBI that has experience, that has judgment, that
All right,
has...
let's hold on a second. They have their guy directing the FBI. Did Trump appoint him? Yes, at the suggestion of Chris Christie. But they love Christopher Wray. He does their bidding. He did it on January 6th. He does it all the time. And so they said, this underscores the fact that we need somebody who's experienced. It happened under Christopher Wray. It happened under Merrick Garland. It happened under their FBI leadership that they support. This underscores the attack in New Orleans, why Kash Patel shouldn't be there, somebody who needs to have experience and so forth. Kash Patel has a hell of a lot more experience than Christopher Wray did. Christopher Wray was a prosecutor. He was the head of the criminal division under George Bush. Big deal. Kash Patel was a prosecutor. Kash Patel did a lot more than that even. He was involved in secret missions dealing with in the Middle East, involved in an enormous amount of national security activity at the Department of Defense, as well as a former federal prosecutor. So he's qualified. He's more than qualified. He's more than qualified than Kamala Harris ever was to be anything, let alone President of the United States. Go.
Character that will prioritize defending the country against the violence we saw in New Orleans or the violence we saw on January 6th. Not someone whose top priority is political vendettas.
His top priority is political vendettas. And here's Donald Trump this week, Friday, has to go to court. He's going to do it virtually on the worst of the political vendettas against him that happened in the Manhattan court. We don't need Democrats lecturing us about political vendettas when they tried to put Trump in prison for the last 2 years. We don't need them with political vendettas, the way they go after Clarence Thomas and Sam Alito. We don't need to hear from them about political vendettas, the way that Bannon was put in federal prison as a result of a referral by the corrupt January 6th committee, the way that Navarro was put in a federal prison as a result of the corrupt January 6th committee that destroyed enormous amounts of data, depositions, videotapes, because there was so much information that they had gathered, which would have disproved their entire project. They had to get rid of it. So we don't need lectures by a party that has the border wide open. So murderers and rapists can pour into our country, terrorists pour into our country, gangs pouring into our country, gangs we never saw or heard of before, fentanyl pouring into our country. We don't need lectures about people with experience and expertise. What they really mean is Democrat Party radical left-wing ideologues. And Kash Patel definitely is not one of those. Go ahead.
Who believes in deep state conspiracy thinking, not someone who is as unqualified as Kash Patel. So Kash Patel is an easy one.
Kash Patel's an easy one. You know, John Kennedy appointed his brother Robert Kennedy to be Attorney General of the United States. He was 34 years old and he had almost no actual legal experience, except a little bit, when he was a staff attorney on a committee that was essentially run by Joe McCarthy. The Army-McCarthy hearings. He was McCarthy's lawyer. And he got that job because his father, Joe Kennedy Sr., was friends with McCarthy and got him the job. He had no great experience to be Attorney General of the United States, and yet there he was at 34 years of age. And he's praised all the time, partially because of the horrendous way in which he was killed by Sirhan, a Palestinian, murdered. But that said, to talk about qualification, Joe Biden has dementia and has had dementia. Adam Schiff was all for him. Kamala Harris had no qualifications to be vice president, let alone president. Adam Schiff was all for her. So we don't need these lines about qualifications. You look at Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh was clearly qualified to be on the Supreme Court, so they went a different route. They lied about him, lied about his youth, lied about his sexual activity, and tried to destroy him that way. Same with Clarence Thomas. So these people are very evil. Go ahead.
He should not be confirmed. The others, look, Marco Rubio, I think eminently well qualified. Several of the other.
They all love Marco Rubio. Does anybody know why that is? Here's Adam Schiff endorsing Marco Rubio. Now, to me, and I have nothing against Marco Rubio, that sends up flags like, what the hell's going on here? Very weird. Very weird. Go ahead.
Nominees. Again, we should follow that regular process that the majority leader has laid out. But that one should be an easy one.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.